What's up, guys? It's Alvin here. I'm sorry I've been gone for so long. I've had some, I guess, interesting things happen. Uh, but I'm back now, and I'm going to do a long video. This one could either be really long, or it might be in two parts even, because might be so long. But I'm going to be reacting to, actually no, not reacting. Responding to a bit of arguments by NyaraVTube here, NyaraVT. Uh, it's. I know this big thing's in the way, but it's by Letha. Sorry, I debated NyaraVTube on trans issues, full debate. So I'm not gonna be doing the whole debate, at least not right now. If you guys want me to, I might be able to do that. I don't know if she'd really appreciate me doing that, but probably not. But maybe. But like, I'm gonna be reacting to some of it. So if I can find the, so we have Vlog Room, women's stuff. We got straw drama, trans kids, people in society, and then we got. I'm gonna do these two and maybe this third one here. So that's gonna be like from like 306 to like 402 the most. So at most, and at the very least, maybe like 347. So like it's gonna be like 40 minutes to like over an hour. I'm gonna be probably doing this. So like that's stuff I'm gonna be reacting to. It might take me longer to even do it. So anyway, let's get do it.
Gerne, when
Wait a minute, I gotta go to this one here real quick. Hold
like
on. Immediately an ad. Hold on. Let me hold on. Should I mute this? I'll mute it. Just in case if like so I don't get in trouble because it's like Fortnite.
this from the human rights campaign about how if like LGBTQ young people are just like more likely to have attempted suicide and whatnot after going to conversion therapy.
So I don't really think that this line is really that important because I'm against a lot of this in the first place. If they're hurtful.
Oh no, I think this is a little bit show drama. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, here it is. Okay, we got it. Okay, I'll go trans kids. I'll start.
Like
this.
I can send you this from the human rights campaign about how if like LGBTQ young people are just like more likely to have attempted suicide and whatnot after going to conversion therapy.
So I don't really
think. Okay, so after going to conversion therapy, people are more likely to do suicide. Okay. Definitely would like to see those statistics, but let's see what else Nyara has to say.
That this line is really that important because I'm against a lot of this in the first place.
I do kind of feel like it's like we're missing a lot of the context because like we're literally missing 3 hours and 6 minutes and 8 seconds of context here. So I might go back a little bit here later, but we're just gonna start here because there's a lot to react to, or a lot to respond to rather. So let's continue.
If they're hurtful.
Yeah, but like you're saying that like
I'm gonna accept your premise.
A trans person should just like repress in order to like have it easier in society.
I'm going to accept your premise for the purpose of argument. So let's say yes, these are all bad. Okay. Now, under that premise, can you still agree with me that there is a potential in terms of the motive that a person could see that oh, my child could have a better life if they do this, and that would be their motive. So you can see how that's, even if it's wrong, according to you, or according to whatever moral framework you want to use, you can see how that's not from a place of hatred.
Okay, let me explain what's going on, because I think I know what the fact, because I've watched up to like maybe like I don't know, I watched most of the debate so far, and here's the gist. Okay, so like what's going on here is they were talking about I think it being like hatred, or at least like I think like hatred if you you know, it's hard to explain because it's kind of in my head, but it's hard to explain. Let me think here. Give me a second, you guys. I know somewhere in this, I don't know if this is the moment though, but somewhere they talk about like people being malicious, you know, like who don't want kids to, sorry, who want to get kids to go to conversion therapy, or who at least ones who, not even that, even, but like people who want kids to like maybe find out if they're gay or not, like to question whether, like, you know how people question like, oh, question the sexuality, am I gay, actually, am I gay, you guys, am I straight, am I gay, like when they first start questioning it. Well, it's like that, but the opposite, you know, like when she like to question if they're actually gay, like they might think they're gay, but are they really gay, you know, is this like are they like bisexual, or is it just like they're like, is it just something else, you know? And so Leaflet kind of brought, I think, something like that up, and then Nyara was like, well, that's evil, like, because Nyara was like, okay, well, that's conversion therapy, that's abuse, so that's abuse and stuff, so so it's like malicious, whatever. Basically, they were talking about how it's malicious, you know, like malicious intent to believe those things. So basically, Nyara here cannot cannot figure out the difference between, or at least doesn't, or might at least doesn't know if not, like, refuses to acknowledge difference, at least in this, at least at times and not at other times, because and you'll see later, I think, but unless it already happened. But anyway, like, Nyara is like, okay, Nyara doesn't seem to think that people can like have good intentions and do bad things. If they do something bad, then that must mean they have a bad intention, right? That's kind of Nyara's logic here. But Nyara has also admitted that at one of Leaflet's hypotheticals here, if it's not here, I'll spoil it, but Nyara has already conceded, I think, or not conceded, like has already agreed with Leaflet that if somebody, like one of her hypothetical of, if somebody drives a car like and runs somebody over, like by accident, you know, they could have had good intentions, like they could have maybe not intended on running someone over, but they ended up doing that, and they ended up doing something bad, right? And so that, and it, but then there's also another guy who is like, I don't like this dude, so I'm gonna run him over by the car, and then intentionally does it, right? That's bad intention, right? So there's a difference between, you know, okay, you've done something bad, but there's a malicious intent there, and then there's also, so you done something bad and there's no malicious intent, and it's actually good intent there. And Nyara has literally just said, has literally like agreed that, okay, yeah, in that scenario, right? The person who was driving the car, like who didn't intend on hitting the person, who was just like, you know, like that's the person doesn't have any bad intentions, right? But then Nyara says later, basically talks about how, like, basically contradicts that. I don't remember exactly what Nyara said, but let's continue on.
Right. It could perhaps be misguided, but it doesn't mean that it's a hateful action.
Okay, so what Nyara said is basically like, okay, if you, I think what Leaflet is saying is like, if you send your kids to convergent therapy, it doesn't necessarily mean, or if you want your kids, you know, maybe to like question if they're gay or not, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that the parent has bad intentions, or, you know, that the person who wants that for them has bad intentions and hates the person, right? That hates the person that, you know, is claiming to be gay, right? That's all that's really being, I think, being, you know, the point that's trying to be proven. But Nyara ends up kind of going on a big thing and just kind of like keeps on missing the point and not understanding somehow, you know, I mean. So let's continue.
Do you understand what I mean? So like, there's a mom that's like, I think for my child, you know, I want to give it a try because, you know, things will be easier for them if you know, they weren't
Why would
gay.
it be easier? Why would it be easier
for the reasons I said earlier?
A child to not be gay.
Well, it's like I said earlier, like
what is responsible for it?
Societal norms. Well, you know, again, like, what if they're just bi, like they're kind of bi. They had some fantasies about it. We don't know, right? We don't know. And maybe the parent is like, oh,
okay,
maybe if we send them here, let me finish real quick. I'm almost done. So, you know, if we send them here, then I think our child will live a better life. And then, you know, send them there, and then, you know, maybe they come out and they're still gay, and it's like, okay, at least we tried. Do you see how that wouldn't really be hateful? I mean, perhaps misguided.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe,
but it wouldn't be.
Especially if it does hurt somebody to send someone to conversion therapy, it may be because it's misguided and not necessarily because someone hates them. Like, and I'm baffled. I've been baffled by what Nyara has said, like, this entire debate. Like, the arguments here are just like, oh my goodness, bro. It's just it's something else. It really is something else. Like, it's either bad, it has to either be bad faith, and dishonest. Bad faith, dishonest, one of those two, or Nyara just, like, does not understand logic. At this level, at least, right? I'm not claiming to be, like, a super smart guy or anything, okay? I'm not saying that I have a much better understanding of logic than you ever could, Nyara. No. I'm just saying that Nyara, from what I've heard, like, Nyara, like, has said things that, like, it's just baffled me. Let's just continue anyway.
Be like a position of malice, correct?
It is incredibly dangerous to say that, like.
But would it be malice? That's the important part.
Like.
So basically, Leaflet's asking, is it malice? Is it does the person have malice, which has been defined here, I think, as like a malicious intent, which is like intent to harm, right? So like, they're basically saying, like I explained, that does sending a kid to conversion therapy, or doing something like that, or having the kid question if they're really gay, and trying to find out if the kid's really gay, is that malice? Is that malicious? That's what they're trying to figure out here.
Yes.
It would be malice.
Because
So what makes it malice
obviously,
then?
because
Can you define that?
you're saying that, like, the way that you are is wrong and you need to be changed and fixed in order to have it easier in a society, that
No, just
doesn't
it's
like
easier.
people like you.
Just it's easier.
Okay, so it's like, I don't even, like, Nyara is basically saying, so basically you need to, like, so Nyara's problem is, like, it seems like, it's like, okay, there's something wrong with you, you need to be fixed and stuff. It's like, well, I mean, in the Christian view, we all have something wrong with us, sin, and that needs to be fixed. Jesus is a fix, right? But if we're not talking Christian stuff, I mean, being gay, I mean, I don't know, like, it's something, I mean, I don't think it makes sense evolutionary as far as I can think of. Like, you don't have kids if you're gay. Like, you can't have physical kids. I mean, now you can maybe adopt or maybe make some kids with, maybe unethically with, like, I don't even know if it's unethically, but it just doesn't seem right to me. Like, you can make some, like, in a chamber, like, scientific, like, in a test tube, or whatever, test tube babies and stuff. Like, but, like, that doesn't, like, for the longest time, that wasn't, like, obviously it wasn't possible. So, what like benefit would being gay have, right? I mean, what reason would someone have to evolve to be gay? That could be one of my arguments, I guess, against, like, oh, people are born gay, so they can't control it. So they're born gay, so they're just born that way, So if you say that, you can't be, and Nyara, I think, says this too, or implies it, that basically, that if, because people are born gay, with the assumption that people are born gay, if you basically, if you try to get them to not be gay, or if you do that, like, then you're a bad person, or then, like, that's abuse, because they can't change that, because they're born that way, right? And I think it's compared to, like, race later. It's compared to, like, something like with skin color. I forgot exactly what was said. That's why I'm watching it again. I can't remember all this stuff. It's a 4-hour debate, so anyway, let's continue.
I mean, using the right hand example, right? You just say that.
Sure.
You just
Okay.
say that.
I wish I started earlier, because, like, some of this stuff is earlier too.
It'd be easier if you're right-handed, because a lot of things are made that way. You would have significant advantages by being right-handed, and since you're a parent that wants the best for your child, you would then be like, okay, like, let's try to teach you how to be right-handed. It's not necessarily saying that being left-handed is like a moral evil, or like a bad, like a inherently bad thing. It's just that since we exist in a society, you would have to harmonize with said society, and it would make it easier.
So should the norm basically control how others need to, like, live like?
It's like I said before, people who are weird have to do their best to live within the society, and society has a obligation, or a moral obligation, to allow them to have their liberty. Not moral, sorry, just a societal obligation. For the sake of harmony, a societal obligation, not moral. Sorry, I misspoke there.
I mean, I think calling like left-handed people weird, or like calling autistic people weird, or gay people weird and whatnot is like pretty
Why is it bad?
it's kind of gross.
Why? I'm weird. I think weird people.
I personally, I think that it is it's just kind of like a word that has negativity associated with it. When you call something weird, it implies negativity, I think, in today's society. So like when you say something's weird, it kind of implies that, okay, it's kind of weird, ew, gross, you know. I'm not saying that's what Nyara's saying, but like Nyara is probably thinking that because it's like when you say something's weird, like, oh, trans people are weird, or like, oh, if someone says like, oh, autistic people are weird, like it comes off like, you know, oh, well, these people are just so weird. Why are they like this? You know, like, and it comes off kind of negative, like you know, you think you're more civil or something, or you think that you're better, right? I mean, so I mean that's why I would personally use the word odd to describe things that I think are quote unquote weird. You know, I like odd. I think is a better word. It odd is like I think is less associated with like just like negative feelings and stuff. So it might be a little less like it might be make it easier for someone to listen when you say oh something is odd, you know. But I mean, for the sake of the conversation, I mean, weird is like, I mean, weird just means like out of the ordinary. So I mean, I don't think that Leaflet would be wrong here necessarily in calling something weird. It's just maybe not the most effective way to get somebody to listen, you know.
People are cool.
Sure,
We have a lot.
I mean,
we have a lot
sure,
to bring to this world. We're just
I mean,
strange. Being weird is just being kind of against the grain.
Yeah, but is it unnatural?
I don't know about unnatural, but against the grain of society.
So basically, like, if you're different than the norm, you need to basically hide and pretend that you are part of the norm in order to like fit in and be the least disruptive.
Well, I mean, it depends. I don't necessarily mean it means always hiding. It just means trying not to infringe. So like let's say for instance, like let's say I love hentai, like a
Yeah, I knew this was the moment. I knew this. I guess this is one of those, I guess, kind of crazy clip moments or whatever. But yeah,
fuck ton.
for the
See, I'm
debate.
just really into hentai, like damn. And I got one of those ahegao shirts, right? And I love it. So
Oh, you guys remember when that was like a big thing? I don't even know when it was. It was a long time ago. Like it was a big thing. It was like memes or whatever. Like you'd see like the freaking hentai shirts. Like I don't even know who would wear that. Like that. Like why would you wear that? Right? I mean, honestly, I don't understand. Anyway, let's continue.
so good. If I wear it like at home, it doesn't really matter. But if I wear it like at a park where there's kids, now I'm kind of infringing on society. You see?
Okay, take a second. Like so, basically, if you wear a Hego shirt, right, at the park where there's kids, right, that's infringing on society. If you wear it at home, you're not, right? So let's see what the argument is.
And I mean, but I'm not saying you should make ahegao shirts illegal.
Keep that in mind too. She doesn't think that you should make Ahegao shirts illegal, as well. So
Uber Eats knows whenever you watch football.
okay, I gotta mute this again too.
Do you equate being gay to being like some perversion?
No, I'm using an.
See this? See right there. Do you equate being gay with some kind of perversion? Why does this happen so often? Where as soon as I like, or as anyone brings up a hypothetical that like, or like a comparison between two things, like, or like, you know, like for sake of like, you know, compare you know, for the sake of like testing logic, some person, right, has to go, and usually it's an LGBTQ person, I think, usually has to go, are you seriously equating being gay with this? Are you seriously equating being gay with that? Like, if you compare being, you know, being gay to, like, you know, like, let's say, let me see if I can think of an example. Like if you're saying like, give me a second. Like if you talk about like zoophilia and stuff, right? And like you're saying, and maybe you're saying like, okay, well, um, if you're like, okay, well, we're letting in like, I guess this is not the best. This is not like one of the. I guess this is the best example. Might not even be like an equation thing like that, but it's like, okay, so basically, we're letting in degeneracy, like in America, like we're like, I'm not saying this biblically, but like we're saying like, oh well, like this godless society, we're allowing like it started out with gay rights and now it's zoophilia. Like this is not a very good example. It's a terrible example, right? I'm saying it because it's the only thing I really think of. Like, but oh no, I got it better. Okay, so basically, um if you're arguing with like a gay person, like, or whatever, and they ask you like, okay, what's wrong with being gay, or like, no, when they say love is love, right? When someone says love is love, the response to that could be this, right? And listen to this carefully. Okay? Because because a lot of people like go, are you seriously? What? No way you could just compare being gay to that. But like, that's not the point. Okay? Like, if you say love is love, well, that indicates, it's basically like the message of that is like saying, well, it's okay to love who you want to love, right? And like, love is good or love is love, right? But clearly, I would say this, right? I'm not equating these two things. I'm not saying they're the same thing. I'm not saying they're the same amount of whatever bad. But like, if I could say, well, if a like 30-year-old man loves like a 12-year-old girl, is that good, right? If a pedophile loves like a young child, right? Is that love? Is that love is love too? Or like, and people will be like, no way, you're seriously comparing being gay to that. I'm not saying that being a pedophile is the same level of being gay. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying is that just because you say love is love does not mean love is love. Okay, just because you say that, it's like I'm trying to say why it doesn't make any sense, right? Why some love isn't necessarily good, or why some love is better than others, or why some love is good and other love, quote unquote, love is not good, right? And so I'm saying just because you say love is love does not mean being gay is all of a sudden okay, right? Or good in God's eyes, or at least just good in general, right? So I mean, that's the whole point. Like, and that's the thing. Like, and that's kind of what Nyara is kind of doing. I don't know if Nyara is like doing it on purpose or, but like, I think it's just like this. And I probably have this reaction too, so I might be able to understand. Like when you hear something being, sorry, I'm talking really fast, but like, when you hear something being uh, compared, like from your side being compared to something else, like I get it. Your gut reaction is go, these aren't the same things. Like, you really think those are the same things? It's not even a close comparison. But sometimes the point of comparing them, you gotta remember, isn't always to say that this is as bad as this. Sometimes it's to say, well, just because you say this, with this does not mean that it's good, or does not mean this, right? It's to show it's just like it's to try to like get to logical consistency. So it has nothing to do with saying this is as bad as this, right? That's the point. Anyway, let's continue.
An example of a thing that's outside of the.
Also, of course, what Nyara did also by saying like, are you seriously equating being gay with some kind of perversion, right? That also can rile up people too. That'll get people on your side. That'll get people like go, yeah, is she really just equating being gay with being a perversion? Wow, she hates gay people, right? And it'll especially rile up the people who are already on Yara's side, and it might also like this could be a tactic. I don't know if like Yara's doing it on this purpose, so I'm not gonna say this for sure, but this could also be a tactic where like Nyara is saying that to like make Leaflet seem like she's doing something bad, or make Leaflet out to be the bad guy here. Vilifying Leaflet, going like, oh, you're comparing being gay with a perversion. You think being gay is evil. You see, you're a homophobic. You see, you're a homophobe, right? I mean, it's like, that's kind of what it can do. I'm here to try to like, expose like some of Nyara's tactics, of like whether Nyara knows it or not. So the things that that Nyara is doing that is just dishonest and not good for debate, you know, that's what I'm here, and that's what I'm here doing, because I listened to this and I was like, you have to be kidding me. There is no way you're saying this stuff, and like, and then you still think you're on, like, and you know what's even better? Not better though. I'm being sarcastic. Is that Nyara? I might respond to these videos later, but like Nyara has like videos. I think that little that like talking about like the debate, literally like one of the videos I think is like titled something like why can't we have, like, why can't you have, or this is why you can't have like um a productive conversation, or like a good faith conversation with a conservative or something. I forgot what it's called. Like it might be something like that, right? And I was like, really, really, you have the gall to say that after you've literally used all these techniques to make, like, to rile up people and get people on your side and make Leaflet seem like the bad guy, and then you're calling Leaflet bad faith. Or someone in the comments also was calling like Leaflet bad faith as well, I think. I don't know if like Nyara was calling her bad faith, but I know Nyara was like, basically, I mean, like, seriously, you think, like, you know, you want to know why it's hard for leftists to, so you know why it's hard to, like, for leftists to talk to conservatives? Because when you constantly equate disagreeing with, you know, being with being a Nazi and being a bad person, and all of a sudden, you know, abuse and stuff, of course you're not going to think, you're going to, you know, in intolerance, of course you're not going to want to tolerate them. Of course you're not going to think that they're reasonable when you already think that their viewpoint is justifying something that is bad, right? When you think that they're literally advocating for taking away your rights, why would you want to talk to them? Why would you want to have like an honest debate with them? Why would you want to why would you think that you can have an honest conversation with them if you're a leftist? And if you're a conservative, like, it, you know, it's really hard, like, it's like, you know what, like, it's really hard having, like, being a conservative and literally having leftists tell you, I'm not saying this is all leftists, okay, by the way, having leftists tell you that, like, call you names and say that you're like transphobic, and say that you hate people, and that, like, what Nyara is doing is saying basically, like, you hate somebody, you know, or that it's you know, that you hate someone if you simply disagree, or you hate someone, like, if you don't want them to, like, if you don't think it's, if it's against your beliefs that they are the way that they think they are, like, if you know, because they think they're born gay and stuff, so, like, if it's against your beliefs, you know, how they act, or then you hate them if you don't affirm what they believe, right? Of course, it's gonna be hard, like, to talk to people like that, right? That already think that you're a bad person just for disagreeing with them and just for having a different opinion. The thing is, it's never usually enough. Like, there's nothing, like, they'll keep going until you agree with everything they say, right? Like, there's I'll check out the comments later too. Okay, let's continue.
The average normal society. Yes, I think that being trans, being gay, are they're factors that aren't shared by the majority of society. Yes.
Do you think like exclusive white neighborhood should be a thing?
And all of a sudden, boom, Nyara says this. I do think exclusive white neighborhoods should be a thing. Right.
Exclusive white neighborhoods?
Yeah, so there's just like,
Man, that's a
there's
hard
just
one.
like a town where
A lot of people were like, I think someone was like, in one of the comment sections of Nyara's videos, they're like, dang, that's a hard one, and then they're like, really, like, they're basically saying, you know, like, how could you say it's a hard one? But Leaflet will explain later. Like, there's actual, like, I think also in one of Leaflet's other videos, she explained, like, why, because she's also, I think, on, like, she hasn't slept for like 24 hours at this point. I think eventually, like, she hasn't slept for like 30 hours, so, like, she really didn't get a lot of sleep, so, I mean, she probably, like, was trying to process everything, so maybe that's why she said that, but also there's other factors too, so let's
there
see
are
what
only
those
like
are.
white people allowed to live because like it is too disruptive for a person of color to live there. Do you think that's like, you know, they should be like able to like have like,
My question would be, why is it disruptive for a person of color, right? If you're trans, right, there is, like, that has to do with changing your sex organs, right? And, like, and I mean that's a different thing. It's not being trans is not the same thing as being black, right? It's not the same thing. Now I know in Nyara's mind, of course, Nyara is gonna think, okay, well, you're born trans, right? You're born gay, you're born trans, right? So of course Nyara is gonna equate it with being black because it's the same way in the sense in their mind, or in his mind. I guess since Nyara is trans feminine, right? I guess is a trans-identified male or a trans female, if you will. Basically, a trans woman. Sorry, not trans female. I want to also address some of the arguments back here, but not in this video. I might address this in like a stream or something later. But anyway,
That's a rough one, actually. That's a rough one. So this might be shocking, but my initial reaction is yes, because of freedom of association. But
What does that mean?
I'd have to think about it. Well, you should be free to associate with whoever you want, right? If you only want to hang out with, like, who am I to say, like, who you can hang out with? Right? It's like, right, like liberty, like I said, right? Coming from the point of view of liberty, like I would have to enact a law that says that you have to hang out with people of other races. And if you don't want to, like, why is that my, I mean, I'm gonna think.
you see, like Leaflet has a point, right? Like it's a lot of people don't like really oversimplify it and go, oh, okay, you want or you think it's okay to have an all white neighborhood, you're racist, right? Because you like segregation, and they'll go on like to that level and just say and just hear like they're trained by the people that they listen to, right? They're trained by the people, like indoctrinated by the people that they watch that in their echo chambers, right? On TikTok, especially, Instagram and YouTube, by their favorite, like whatever debaters or maybe by their favorite, content creators that, and usually these people also, if they're like LGBT, they'll call people transphobic a lot transphobic and a lot of times like homophobic as well. If they disagree, just kind of like Nyara's doing here, instead of engaging with the argument, sometimes they'll just say you're transphobic and just try to call you a bad person, which is I think also a dishonest technique because I think that's an ad hominem. That's attacking. It's a personal attack and not an argument. So
I think you're an asshole, but freedom.
Do you think this level of like gatekeeping, like do you think that like I don't know, countries should just like decide that like only people who were born there and look like a specific way, they should be like allowed there, and everybody else needs to like get out? Is like that something that you like support?
Sorry, that if you can you give like a concrete example?
Like if
like a hypothetical.
Sure, if Germany would go ahead and they are going to be like, well, Jewish people are too disruptive, so all of them need to.
Interesting example. I'd like to point out. Interesting example that you chose that, but anyway.
Like be sent away. That is like something that you would like support because the majority of people in Germany aren't Jewish. So they should be able to like decide.
Well,
that.
no, I don't think so, because that would involve taking their property rights away.
What if?
Because you would have to steal. So if Jews lived in Germany, you would have to steal their property rights and steal their property in order to kick them out.
Another ad. Hopefully I don't get copyright claimed for any of this. Oh, there's another ad too. It's a double ad, you guys. Double ad.
Do you think that like a sense of like identity is less valuable as like property?
What's up? Your sense of
like you can take people's identity away, but you can't take their property away.
What do you mean take their identity away?
I mean, if you're saying something like, "Oh, trans people shouldn't be allowed to transition because it's too disruptive," so
I didn't
they
say
need
that.
to like hide that they are trans.
I didn't say that, though.
Hypothetically,
Hypothetically, what? Hypothetically, should no.
Let's check the comments. This reminds me of something. So, basically, anything I interpret as harm is harmful. There's no debating with people who use such broad definitions that are unfalsifiable. I think we can all agree that Leaflet is a lot nicer than any of us could ever be here. Lol. As this thing is what I was talking about earlier, like the whole fact Nyara can't understand intent versus outcome is really weird. Yeah, it starts losing argument. Do you want segregated neighborhoods? Okay, here's something about like trying to identify. So I will note that the three ways that Nyara tried to define women in a way that includes transgender women were: 1. Identifying as female. You are still wrong about your identity if you are male. Oh, what? You're wrong about your identity if you are male. Okay. Fitting into the social roles of women, meaning gender identity is irrelevant. Kick chat was spamming, but tomboys during this based. Okay. Being connected to your soul by having a soul that dictate your biological sex, which sometimes messes up. Basically, a religion needs proof doesn't necessarily make you female anyways. The fact that he tried to change his position multiple times is very disingenuous, and it also shows that he doesn't really actually understand his own beliefs. I didn't expect much from him, though as feelings only take you so far. The fact that he says, "I'm not an adult human male," and simultaneously insists that sex and gender are two different things, proves the utter cognitive dissonance. I don't know if he said this, but maybe it sounds like maybe some. Oh, please don't give these ghouls, I don't even call them ghouls, but these ghouls any clout next time. You can literally say, "I disagree," and they want you dead, literally. His fans blame you for blame your chat for transphobia when his chat was full of ghouls wanting you dead, as they would say kirked. Or as it would say kirked. Disgusting. I don't know if that was what's happening in chat, but if that's so, that's just terrible. I can't find the one I was trying to find anyway, but... Anyway, let's just continue.
Well, hypothetically, you're saying that like trans.
I might have to do part 2 of this, guys. Cause we're only like a couple minutes into this, for real, dudes.
People are like too disruptive for society, so they need to like.
No, I didn't say that.
They shouldn't transition in order to.
I didn't say that though.
Fit in with society.
Yeah, I didn't say that.
Okay, so I was saying, like, okay, you need to, like, not transition to not fit inside. That's not what Leaflet was saying, right? What was Leaflet saying, though? Like, I think she was saying, like, I think she was just saying that you can't bring it around kids. Like, don't bring it around kids and stuff. Like, don't try to, like, maybe even don't try to influence other people. Like, because she gave, like, the hentai example, right? Like, you do that in your own house and stuff, you know? And she doesn't think it should be illegal, you know, like she said. But she also thinks that if you bring around like a hentai shirt around kids, you know, that it's kind of an issue.
That's not what I meant.
I mean, you're talking about like trying to convert people to match like the status quo, the norm.
Yeah, to perhaps make things easier for them, and then if they're not, then they have the right to do that if they want. I mean,
but she's literally saying, she's been here. Okay, she's saying that, okay, if you want to be trans, you can be trans, but like, you know, it might make it easier for you if you obey the norm, right?
If there's a dude, so say there's a mom and they have a kid, and like my kid would have an easier life, and let's say that her rationale behind it is that studies show that like if they get married and have kids, like that's the path to happiness. So I want my kid to like have that path to happiness. So I'm gonna try to like see if like we could find out if being gay is a phase or they're not actually gay. Maybe they're bi and they can maybe they're bi and they can just not have a boyfriend or whatever, right? So they send them to a thing to try to like figure that out, and then the kid's like, too bad, mom, I'm 18 now and I'm still gay. I'm gonna go fuck a dude. And I think fine, it's up to them. Why would I get involved in that?
So
They're an adult. They're an adult.
So okay, notice how Leaflet is basically still giving them options. Like she's not saying that okay, well you can't be gay, right? Or you shouldn't like she's not even like saying you shouldn't be gay. She's saying like we should find out if they're really gay. We should we should actually question, like we should get like the kid question their own sexuality, or like well, maybe not that in that direction, like we should question the kid's sexuality, right? They may have also questioned it before, like the kid may have questioned it and thought they were gay, and then but they should question it, like honestly, like they should like go to something and find out if they're actually gay or if there's something else, right? And so like it's just basically being open-minded, right? That's basically being open-minded. It does seem quite contrary, especially when like a lot of people accuse conservatives of not being open-minded. But here's something seeming to be quite open-minded, and let's see what Nyara says.
So you think conversion camps are like a good idea then for kids?
No, I don't think that they're I don't think they're very effective.
They should go to therapy to figure out who they are because
sure.
they are gay.
Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, you should know who you are, right? I mean, it's a good thing to go to, if you have these feelings, you're kind of confused about it. I think it's a great thing to go to therapy and like maybe find out how you do feel. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I mean, sure. Would you send like straight people to therapy for the same reasons?
First of all, that's not even the same thing, because being gay, like I was saying, like it doesn't make any sense evolutionary, at least in my opinion. I mean, I'm not a scientist, so I mean I could totally be wrong here, but let me know if I'm wrong in the comments down below too. But being gay, like the majority of people aren't gay, right? There's like, and also being gay, like it has no positive things on it, really. I don't think like. Other than it doesn't increase the population, but also increasing population is usually like seen as a good thing sometimes. I mean, maybe not when there's so many people on the earth, but I mean, like basically being gay, like it's got negative things, but I don't think it really has any positive things for being gay. Like if you're straight, like you can have kids. So like why would you even like say what would you send straight people to a conversion camp or whatever, right? I mean. Like it's a different thing. It's a little bit of a different situation here. So I mean, I'd say probably not. I wouldn't send them. I wouldn't send them to like a conversion thing, right?
Well, no, because that's kind of again, that's like within the societal norm, and there's no innate disadvantage to that, right?
So like
it would
only
change if
those
like
who
gays
are,
had an
out
advantage.
of the norm, they need to like figure out if they're actually.
No, it's more that like, so I don't really believe in like the conversion camps in the first place because I don't think they're very effective, right? But what I'm saying is that it can come from a place not of malice. That's my point. Is that you could come from a place of like,
how is that not malicious though?
It's not, because you want.
So basically, here's the thing. Okay, so Leaflet's like, okay, so you could send someone to conversion therapy without malice, and then Nyara's like can't understand that, and it's like baffled, and it's like, well, how is that not malicious? You're sending a kid to conversion therapy, right? Which goes with the comment down here. It's like the full fact that Nyara can't understand intent versus outcome is really weird. This is where that comes into play.
Want what's best for the person, and what you.
One more thing. I saw like I know it since I was 7. I think that's Nyara said that earlier. I think so. Basically, he's known since he was trans since 7. So I thought I could control the wind and enjoyed the taste of a poisonous bush when I was 7. Was I a wizard or was I a stupid kid who believed nonsense I didn't understand? Exactly. Like just because you're like I mean, that's kind of that makes sense. I mean, anyway.
Think is best for the person
Why is the best for a person, for a gay person to,
Well, I mean, again, if they're 100% gay, and they found out they're 100% gay, then maybe it's best for them to just be gay. But what I'm saying is, there might be a case. And
also, I don't think Leaflet is also saying what her own opinion is here. Okay, I think Leaflet also, like, I think she said in a video, like, one of her videos talking about this, was like, she's trying to take the most reasonable, like, sorry, the most most agreeable response, like, she's trying to, like, pick the most agreeable position, right? A position that most people could probably agree upon, and do this. And yet, Nyara also proves here that no matter how agreeable you try to be, no matter how open-minded you try to be, in a sense, it's not enough, because you have to agree with them, otherwise you're a bigot still, right? That's the thing, right? I mean, and let's continue on with this here.
Which a person's bi, and maybe they don't really like dudes that much.
I also want to keep in mind that not all leftists believe this as well. This is not. I don't think all leftists believe this. This is just some of them, right? It seems to be a lot of people though, especially at least on the internet. There's a lot of people who will call you a bigot for like doing that. But that's also on the internet and stuff. So, I mean, people on the internet also say things that they wouldn't say in real life. So that might be that as well. But
and then maybe you could convince them to, maybe the mom could convince them to have a wife instead of a boyfriend, because it would be easier on them in society, in terms of, then you can have children like much easier. You wouldn't have issues with like, adoption or like,
would it
what's
be
the word?
easier
Like
for the mom, or would it be
you wouldn't
easier
have to deal
for
with
the
all that.
son?
I mean, maybe both. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe both. I mean, I think it could be.
If you're a gay man,
Mm-hmm.
and your mom forces you to marry a woman, so you
forces
can
is
have
different.
like children.
Forces is different from.
you see, like Leaflet never mentioned anything about force. Like she was just like, okay, so like, what if like the mom like nudges the kid, or like tries to get the kid to do that, right? No, or I don't know her exact words, but I don't think it had included any force, like makes the kid do this. No, like, and she literally said earlier. That also, I could prove this as well. Like she literally said earlier, right? Like you guys heard that earlier. Like she said literally a few seconds ago. She said like if they choose not to, like if they say, oh, I'm 100% gay, okay, I'm gonna F a dude later, like okay, fine, right? And she's like that. So like, I mean, she's not even like she's not even saying like let's force people to not be gay or trans, right? And so, but yet Nyara is bringing that up. Why? Well, I would guess, and this is speculation, it's probably because it gets more rise out of people, right? Because he's got a community of people, as you can see in the comments down below here, people are like wishing death upon like Leaflet, which I don't know for sure. I'm not gonna say for sure because I wasn't in Nyara's chat. I'm not sure if I want to go there. It'd probably be a really toxic place if that's true. If what was said down below is true, but okay, where was that? Okay, basically, it gets people riled up, and it gets people. It just gets people more like more into the matrix, where it's like. It's not a conspiracy theory, I don't think. It just gets people more, I would imagine, into a mindset where they're angry. They get angry, and so when you're angry, do you think when you're angry? No, you don't think when you're angry. You're just angry. You see red, right? So when you're angry and offended, you don't think. And so when you don't think, you're not gonna make good arguments, and you're just gonna believe you're gonna fall back on what you believe and what you've been taught your whole life, or what you've been taught and that you solidly believe, right? And for people in Yara's channel, for people in Yara's chat, that's transgenderism, that's leftism, I would think. So, and also, if Nyara can also be dishonest enough to say like, force people, right? If Nyara could try to insert words into Leaflet's mouth, right? If someone who's like just listening to it, just not listening to it very intently, right, hears that, and and they hear Nyara, like they're gonna think, oh, Leaflet thinks that people should be forced into being like into not being gay or not being trans, but that's not. But Leaflet of course says like, oh, that's not what I said, and I think it's the second time like this happened as well, like in what we've seen so far in the video. So, I mean, we're just seeing more and more of Nyara just. Like, possibly, and I'm not saying this for sure, because I don't know if Nyara's doing this on purpose or not, but, like, my guess is, like, it's probably just, like, a reflex at this point for them, right, for him. It's just, like, a reflex, probably, because, I mean, if you look at the videos, like, I think some of the videos are, like, just really I don't know the definition of disingenuous. I'm not gonna use the word, but I think it's really just dishonest, right? The title of the video and stuff, and some of the comments as well are quite dishonest. Though I'm not though the comments don't have nothing to do with, well, doesn't mean that Nyara agrees with that either. But anyway,
From suggesting or helping them out
Do you
by
think
being like discover yourself more.
pestering people isn't like pushing them into like a direction? If you
No.
like,
pestering people. Like, did Leaflet ever say pestering? Right? Did Leaflet ever say that? It seems like Nyara is trying to put words in Leaflet's mouth to try to make Leaflet look bad, right? But you think pestering people makes it's not forcing? You think that's not forcing? You know, like just basically throwing crap at the wall and hoping it sticks, right? Hoping some insult gets somebody out there mad at Leaflet, someone else out there mad at Leaflet, and gets more people on Nyara's side, right? I mean, it's just, you see these techniques, you guys? These are techniques also a lot of, I think a lot of dishonest leftists use. And notice I said dishonest leftists because, you know, I'm not leftists do this necessarily. I'm just saying a lot of people, I notice, at least online, you see them do this, right? You see a lot of people, the people that call people transphobic all the time, you know, that without like a lot of, specifically the ones that do it, you know, like willy-nilly and stuff, like they might do this too, right? They'll like, and I think you also get like a really good look in like, you know, like I don't know, maybe don't. I don't know. Anyway, let's continue.
Oh, you're an
constantly
adult.
being like, why aren't you married to a woman? You should marry a woman? You would be so much happier if you would just like have a
Maybe she
wife
thinks
and give me
that.
grandchildren.
Yeah, maybe she thinks that.
And keep in mind, the argument here is by Leaflet is that something can be done without malicious intent, right? Is that, you know, you could send your kid to conversion therapy, or say you know, maybe you shouldn't be gay, out of like genuine concern for the child, out of genuine love, and not of hate, and not of like, not necessarily of bigotry or anything, right? Not of like malice, right? And Nyara's point is, you know, it is, right? It is out of malice, right? And so let's keep that in mind while we watch this.
But you're an adult. It's
How
not
is
really
that
forcing.
not abuse?
It's not forcing.
How is that not abuse? First of all, it's not forcing. Like Nyara's basically putting words in Leaflet's mouth and saying, well, how is that not abuse, what you're saying? Right? It's just, see, just throwing these buzzwords out too, especially after that, that's gonna get more people on Nyara's side, right? What do you think? Like, what do you think? Who do you think's gonna take the side? Like, if you just, like, if you like, somebody who is being accused by a lot of people of being give me a second. I'm gonna take my message here, guys. But what do you think if like there's abuse? If someone's said to be like I'm gonna give me a second. I'll think about this, and I'm gonna like do something real quick. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, so basically, like to say, like who are you gonna feel like better for? Who are you gonna feel more empathy towards, and who are you gonna probably agree with or like, you know, side with? The person who's being accused constantly of homophobia, transphobia, and condoning abuse and hating hating certain groups of people, or the person that is trying to defend the group of people that is supposedly being attacked here, right? And the person who is saying it's not okay to abuse people, right? Like, who, even though the other person didn't say that's being accused, didn't even say anything about, like, didn't even agree with like people being abused is good or anything, or didn't even advocate for that, right? Whoever hears that, like, who's gonna take the side of who, right? I'm sure you can imagine it's gonna be the one who's saying, okay, it's gonna be the side of the person who's accusing, you know, or it's gonna be the side of the person who's, you know, not being accused of a bunch of bad stuff, or supposedly bad stuff, or whatever these bad things that they're supposedly being accused of, right? Anyway, let's continue.
Is that not abusive? That's literally abuse.
You could just be like, hey,
It is
you know, I'm not
emotionally
gonna listen to you.
manipulative.
No, you just be like, I don't.
No, you know what's emotionally manipulative? What you just did, Nyara, putting words in people's mouths, and then saying that they're agreeing that they condone abuse, or then saying that insinuating that what they're condoning is abuse, even though they didn't say that. That is manipulation of the audience, people. That is manipulation. You see, as Joseph Goebbels once said, a Nazi propaganda minister, accuse the other side of which you are guilty. Remember that next time a leftist calls you a Nazi. Anyway, let's continue.
Listen, Mom, I hate to tell you, but I'm gay as fuck. Sorry. I like dick. And then it's just like...
Okay. That's funny even the second time around watching this.
So
yeah.
Why are you protecting the abusive mom then?
I don't think she's abusive. I think she's just maybe you could say at the most she's misguided. I don't think it's abusive, really.
Okay, so if I tell you every single day that the way that you are is wrong and you should change.
Well, that's different. That's kind of harassing and nagging at that point.
How is that different?
Well, that's different because like if you say like, okay,
okay, Leaflet's not saying that you should change if she's saying that you should at least see if it'll work out for you. Like you should see if you really are what you say you are or not, right? And then Nyara's like, so you're saying that I should be like harassed for saying, or for believing I am who I am. I should for believing that I am what I was born as, or who I think I was born as, or whatever. I mean, and that's not what Leaflet's saying. It's just a bunch of like either misunderstanding or just dishonesty. And my guess would be it was based off of what I've seen from Nyara a little bit. Like it's probably dishonesty. But I don't know for sure. You guys can judge for yourselves, okay? Check out Nyara's channel. Especially check out Leaflet's channel. Leaflet's really good. And apparently, I was like, I watched this and I was like, wow, Leaflet's really smart, bro. And she did this on like barely any sleep, like no sleep. So actually, no sleep. She did this on like no sleep for like 24 hours, I think. So like, bravo to you, Leaflet, for being able to do that.
Well, I want what's best for my child. I'm gonna take them to this thing and see like if make sure I'm gonna take them to therapy. And make sure they work it through, and they discover that they're really gay, and then you know what? They're gay, whatever. I'm just gonna leave them alone.
So you're
whatever.
advocating for
I don't really like it,
therapy,
but whatever. Huh? Well, no, wait. I don't think it's effective. I'm sure they work out.
Different.
Well, that's different because like if you say like, okay, I want what's best for my child. I'm gonna take them to this thing and see like if make sure I'm gonna take them to therapy. And make sure they work it through, and they discover that they're really gay, and then you know what? They're gay, whatever. I'm just gonna leave them.
Yeah, she's just saying if they're discover if they're really gay, right? Just questioning if they're gay, right?
So you're advocating for
then Nyara says so.
Like it, but whatever.
So you're advocating for conversion therapy, right? And of course, I'm sure Nyara already thinks this is a bad thing. So basically, Nyara is insinuating that okay, you're advocating for this bad thing.
Well, no, wait. I don't think it's effective. Is my point. And I said therapy, not like conversion therapy.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone should have therapy. Should trans people have therapy to make sure that they're trans?
I mean, sure, obviously.
Yeah.
So trans people should have therapy, right, to make sure they're trans. But why shouldn't gay people? Why shouldn't gay people, right? Or I mean, I'm not saying gay people have to. I'm just saying, like, why couldn't gay people? Like, why would it be bad for if a gay person gets therapy to find out if they're gay? But if a trans person does it, it's okay. It's okay, right?
That's how it works in order to get care in most places. I am just like really confused.
But
no, I'm just like a little bit confused when it comes to like the part of how it's not abusive to tell your child that like they like.
Well, hold on a second. I noticed my avatar is kind of going a little nuts. All right, there we go. My bad. Sorry, guys.
Should like be different. They need to be like they need to be different.
So there's abusive ways. So there's abusive ways to go about it.
When it comes to like the part of how it's not abusive to tell your child that like.
So this is what Yara thinks is abusive, to tell your child that
they should like be different. They need to be like they need to be different.
So there's abusive ways. So there's
abusive ways. They need to be normal. Okay. Well, I mean. I don't think Nyara would think that, would even believe that in certain scenarios. Like, I don't think that Nyara would think bestiality is okay, right? Like in society, like that they think that they should probably think that they should probably not do that, right? So to say that you shouldn't do something isn't necessarily isn't normal. To say that someone should be normal or shouldn't act a certain way isn't necessarily abuse, okay? Just like, and that's a hypothetical. I'm not comparing being gay to being zoophile, okay? I'm not saying that either, right? Once again, I am just showing, I'm doing this for the sake of proving logical consistency and seeing what's logically consistent.
To go about it, I think. So I think there are ways in which it could be abusive, As in, if you're saying, like, for instance, like, if I had a gay kid and I'm like, my kid ain't gonna be gay. Shut up, kid. You're not gay. And then the kid's like, but I am gay, Dad. Shut up. Like, that would be abusive.
I could probably agree with that. Yeah. I could kind of agree with what Leaflet's saying and stuff.
Right, but I'm talking about.
if I
I'm not talking
phrase
about
it
that
as,
case.
like, if I would phrase it as like, oh, I just really do not. I don't want my child to go through the struggles of being gay, so I really wish they would like find reason and become normal because it's so difficult. Would that be like abuse to you, or would that be?
No, because they.
No, it's not. It's not abuse, bro. Like that's literally just disagreeing and just not just thinking differently than you do. That's just like believing something different than you do, Nyara. That's not abuse. That's just thinking something differently. Please learn the difference, Nyara. I'm not gonna hate you for this. I'm just gonna say, please learn the difference. Please, like, please. Anyway, let's continue.
They might be bi, right? I mean, how do you know, right? Maybe they're bi, and then maybe like they can be convinced, hey,
just hypothetically, just assume the kid is like 100% gay.
Yeah, see, but the thing is the parent wouldn't know that.
Yeah, exactly. The parent wouldn't know, so the parent is just doing the best of their ability to help the child, and they don't know. They don't know if the kid's gay or not, which is why they're trying to find out. The kid can think they're gay 100%. First of all, that doesn't mean make them 100% gay. Like they might be wrong, but I mean, because thinking something doesn't mean it's true, right? And then the parent, of course, wouldn't know for sure, so the parent might want to make sure too, right? So I mean, what's wrong with that?
Right, so the parent might be thinking that there might be a chance that they're not, and then that's what I mean. It's about intent, right?
Why does it matter? Why does it matter if the child is gay or bi?
Well, it's intent.
Would it be abusive for me to like phrase it as like I'm coming from a point of love? I just really care about my child. I want my child to not go through the struggles of having
Yes.
to deal with homophobia.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly rational.
That is wild.
Why is that wild?
That is absolutely wild.
Can you
to
explain?
me.
Can you explain why it's
I
wild?
do not think
Why is
that's
it
like
wild?
abusive.
How's it abusive
Because
though?
you're basically sugarcoating abuse.
How
Okay, see now here comes the accusations. Nyara's saying, so you're basically sugarcoating abuse, right? Because it's what I say abuse. Okay, like what is abuse, Nyara? What is abuse? Okay, what is it? What you think is abuse? Is it? So it's like who defines abuse here? Do you define abuse, or does like the government, or like define abuse? Or does like the dictionary define abuse, right? I mean, who decides what's abusive, right? I could say that, well, right now you're being abusive by using manipulative language and also or twisting what Leaflet's saying against her to get a bunch of people to be against her and stuff. So that and also to get people on your side, right? That's manipulative, and that could be maybe abusive, or just because I say it's abusive, right? I mean, I'd say it's dishonest. If it's abusive, I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think? Is this abusive? Tell me in the comments down below. If you watched this far, thank you so much. You guys are clapping for you, because if you guys stayed this far in the video. Thank you so much for watching so much in the video as well. Let's continue.
Was it
Basically, like
abuse?
justifying it.
Can you explain how it's abuse?
Okay. Because the child is not straight and needs to like
Yes, but then you don't know that, right? And then say this.
Okay, well. Okay, once again, Leaflet is not arguing to force the child to repress it, okay? It's just finding out if the kid is gay or not, sending them to therapy to find out if they're gay or not, bro. And maybe saying, okay, like, I don't want you to be gay because it might be harder for you in society. And apparently that equates to, okay, the parent wanting the child to repress that, and then that's abusive somehow.
See, the parent does know that. See, the parent doesn't know that. And the parent's like, oh, maybe it's a phase, maybe they don't know, maybe they're bi, maybe there's something else, and then maybe keep
in mind this also is about like intentions too. Like the point is like is it malicious to send your kids to convergent therapy or to disagree here? Like is that malicious, right? And Nyara keeps saying, well, this is abuse, right? So I mean, I'm getting the impression that if I don't think someone should be gay, if my opinion doesn't agree with yours, right, then I'm a bigot. Then I'm a bad person, right? Then all of a sudden I am a Nazi, right? I mean,
they'd have an easier life, maybe like with a woman or something. And then so they try to take them to therapy to make sure that's the case. And then if the kid says that they're gay, like, sorry,
Yes, it
mom,
is.
I just love dick and balls. And then the mom goes, no. So there's two routes it can go at that point. One route, it could go, no, you're absolutely, no son of mine is going to be gay. I would think that is abusive. But if the mom was like, well, I tried, then I don't really think that's abusive.
Exactly. Like, Leaflet's not arguing to force people to not be gay, right? Or to force people to quote-unquote repress it, right? Leaflet's just saying, like, the intent, like, talk about the intention and stuff here, too. Keep in mind. I'm not
See,
here, like, Leaflet's, like, talking about the intention as well, like, and that's the context of this as well.
See the difference? It's an issue of intent.
No, the intent is always like the same. It is like the
Intent's always the same. What do you mean the intent's always the same, bro? Like, I can think of, like, there's examples where, like, the intent isn't the same. You can do something bad, and the intent doesn't have to be bad to do something bad, right?
You're just, like, phrasing one through, like,
no, not really.
vision, and the other one is just, like,
listen,
being
one is in the best.
cut.
One is in the best interest of the kid, because
Why
the parent.
is it in the best?
I explained
is it in the best interest of the kid, or is it in the best interest of the mom
I don't
who
know.
really wants
I don't know. Could
their
be
kid
both.
to be?
If it's easier to not be gay, right, and if like it would benefit the kid to not be gay, then wouldn't it be in the best interest of the kid for the mom to have the best interest to like think the kid should maybe find out if they're gay or not, or do what Leaf was saying for the kid to do,
It could be both. What I mean is I don't really think that it necessarily comes from a place of malice to be like, well, let's make sure that that's actually what you want. Let's make sure. Let's make sure, and maybe like we'll go to this place and they'll talk to you about not being gay, and we'll see how that works. And then
That is conversion therapy.
Well, let's say it's therapy. To be like, well, let's make sure that that's actually what you want. Let's make sure. Let's make sure, and maybe like we'll go to this place and they'll talk to you about not being gay, and we'll see how that works. And then
That is conversion therapy.
Well, let's say it's therapy, just regular therapy. We'll take you to regular therapy.
No, that is conversion therapy.
Okay,
though.
Let me back up. It's therapy. They say they go to therapy, and the therapy's like, let's find out who you are and let's make sure that that's.
Therapy, yeah.
How's it? Okay, how would you define conversion therapy?
Okay, that's not necessarily conversion therapy. Just because they're trying to find out if you're gay or not, right? And of course, Nyara associates seemingly associates here that all conversion therapy is bad. It's abusive, right? So basically, if you are trying to find out if your kid's gay or not, if you're trying to see if they're actually gay and question that, well, then you're for conversion therapy, so you're for abuse. So basically, if you want to find out if your kid's gay, if you want to actually question if your kid's gay, that's abuse, you guys. According to Nyara, that's abuse. At least I think I'm interpreting this right.
Therapy.
It is basically going to a place where they are going to like assume that you can be changed, that you're going through a phase, you're
So conversion therapy is a place you go to, or they assume that you can be changed.
confused, so you just need to like find reason. I don't know, maybe you watched
But it could be.
two gay men kissing and
could be,
that
though.
confused you, and now you have to go to therapy.
Well, Nyara's, I think, assuming here that you're born that way. So, I mean, that's also another assumption, right?
Does it like invoke the feeling in you?
Sure, it
Do
could
you
be.
think that like
I wonder what Nyara would think of the parents that try to get their kids to be gay for clout. I wonder, right? Is that also conversion therapy too? Because you're assuming the opposite. You're assuming that that the kid, someone is born that way and stuff, and or that you're and you're trying to find out if your kid is gay or whatever, or you're trying to get your kid to be gay, right? Wouldn't that also be, however that would work, whatever? Like, wouldn't that also be conversion therapy? Like, I guess you can convert someone who like would be born that way or whatever, but like, I don't know, like, I wonder what Nyara would think of that anyway.
a straight
Nyara, if you're watching this and somehow got to like the 1 hour point of this, or at this point, please tell me what you think. Please tell me. I would love to hear what you have to say in the comments. Please do. And man, when I was watching this, I was like, bro, I wish I could debate Nyara so I could just shred the points apart. Okay, I'm not that good. I'm not that good at debating, but like, I just wish I could do that, right?
person watching.
Not shredding Nyara, just shred the points. Just shredding the points of Nyara, the points that Nyara is making, right? The the arguments. Anyway,
gay porn makes them gay.
I don't think so, but I don't know.
If I would take like a straight man and I would sit him in a room and just like have him like constantly be around like watching movies and whatnot where gay dudes are kissing, do you think at some point this person is just being attracted to men?
okay, I think it's possible. I think it's very possible because I notice when you watch, I think that when you watch or look at when you like porn, like it just kind of ruins your brain, right? It, like the more you watch it, like when you watch it, you're gonna up your expectations. You're gonna want more, and you're gonna want more every time you watch it, right? You're gonna have higher expectations to enjoy it, right? And so eventually that might get to a point where you might get some new attractions, like you might get some new things that you like, right? Some new preferences, right? And so like whether that be like feet or something, like you might get a foot thing, like a foot fetish, like after like watching enough stuff, right? You could acquire that, right? And if being gay is like that in that sense, then yeah, it might be possible. It could be possible. I'm not saying it is. It could be possible to become gay from watching porn. If you see where I'm getting at here.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really think it matters. What I think this is kind of outside of the point. The point is that trying to find out what you actually believe.
The other way is correct. You think
well you're just you're trying to find out what you believe.
Kid straight.
Well, no. What if the kid? So there's two cases here. There's three cases really. The one is that the kid is confused, which is like it's a possibility. People are confused all the time. I don't know. People like what they like, and people change what they like sometimes. They get kind of confused.
Kind of like what I said.
So I'm not, but there are some people that are actually like straight up gay. I will one. So these are the cases. One, the kid is straight up gay. Two, the kid is a little bit confused. Three, the kid's like bi, and they don't really care. So it's like the three scenarios, right?
Like why as a kid I was confused.
Mm-hmm.
Because I always knew that like I was stuck in the wrong body, right? I shouldn't have been born male. I shouldn't have been raised as a boy. And I initially thought every boy wanted to be a girl.
Actually, wait a second.
I was confused.
There's like the three scenarios, right? Bi, one. There are some people that are actually like straight up gay.
Okay, I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna stop the video here for today, you guys. I'm gonna write down the timestamp right now. But tell me what you guys think of the video down below. Please, I would love to hear what you think. Hold on, I'm gonna write this down real quick. Hold on, what's the timestamp here? Okay, 3:25. Hold on, let me see that again. 09. Okay, you guys. I'm gonna end the video here. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm probably gonna do part 2 to this. I'm probably gonna go to the end of like either here or the end of here. So I'm gonna do a bit longer, right? So I might make a part 2 or even a part 3 doing this. Because I had a lot of fun doing this. This is pretty fun. I enjoyed it. I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm also sorry I haven't posted in a while. I wasn't really feeling the best. So what do you just let me know what you guys think down below. And whose take, like, was Nyara's takes absolutely redonkulous? Because I think Nyara's takes are absolutely redonkulous, you guys. Do you think they're redonkulous? Because I certainly do. And what about Leaflet? What do you guys think about her takes? Is she right? And she's not even, like, keep in mind, she's also not really arguing for her own opinion most of the time. She's trying to be like the most agreeable for most people, right? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the video, please subscribe, and please, or if you like my channel, please subscribe. If you like my videos, please like the video, and also please leave a comment down below. I would love to hear what you think. I've said that like 3 times now. My goodness. I'm sorry for speaking so fast. It's just I get passionate about these types of things, so I speak really fast and probably unintelligibly. I hope I'm intelligible enough to you guys. I really hope I am, because I won't have to read this video. And anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna out. Bye. Actually, I'm gonna wait till even 1 hour and 15 minutes and wait for that. Hold on. Almost done. Almost done. Almost done. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna out. Bye.